really, really loved the book, The Secret Garden, when I was a kid. I actually found my childhood copy, and it's really battered. So doing the show was cool. It was a show I didn't know that well. The music was so beautiful, and hearing those songs come to life with the voices of our fantastic cast, those eerie, beautiful harmonies, it just got me right here. I loved it.
When I was in college, my opera workshop scenes class did 2 songs from The Secret Garden. The first one was the quartet, in which I played Rose, and the second one was I Heard Someone Crying, and I was 21 years old and I played Mary. So it was great. I had so much fun. It was such a blast. And I remember at the time thinking to myself, once my voice is mature enough and trained enough, one day I will play Lily Craven. And so this production of JWRC's The Secret Garden was an absolute dream come true for me.
This was an important production for me to be a part of because it's the story of a boy who can't walk. And we have a son who can't walk. His name is Ellie, and he's 7 years old, and he has a condition called Angelman syndrome. Most people with this condition can't walk until later in life, if ever, can't talk, and are very severely affected. I used this opportunity as a time to raise awareness for Angelman syndrome, and it made my experience in the musical even more meaningful.
It's a really spooky show. There's a lot, obviously, there's spirits and ghosts and darkness and death. And while that seems rather morbid to enjoy being a part of that, I actually thought it was really special and really different than anything that I've done in the past. Really a real departure from sort of your typical, what you expect with musical theater, which is sort of happy and fancy-free. And this was really kind of deep and dark and lovely.
I found The Secret Garden to be very isolating, very cold, especially playing Ben. I was always by myself. But when the kids created this magical charm, the feeling inside the theater was like palpable. Like it was like the sun had just come out and everyone just felt good again. And we had these huge smiles on our faces.
The Yorkshire accent is no easy feat. I had a dialect coach. Her name was Tuffet Schmeltzley, and she was so wonderful. She really was an incredible teacher. And one of the things that she had me do was I had to speak as Martha when I was at home all the time, but I also was supposed to read to my kids using Dr. Seuss books with the Yorkshire accent, and my kids thought it was hysterical that I was Martha, whether I was reading to them or whether I was making breakfast.
I heard someone crying, ah, 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 ah. Such a creepy alto harmony ending of that song. I must have practiced that loudly in my family room on our home computer a zillion times. My sons, ages 16 and 17, to this day still sing, I heard Margie singing, ah. I wish I could get them to sing it on this video right now. I asked them, but they won't do it. If I can catch them doing it, I'm going to post it on Facebook. Oh, but I'm not on Facebook, so never mind.
Performing in The Secret Garden meant everything to me. I had performed prior to this singing, but The Secret Garden was really my first introduction to live theater, and I just fell in love with it, and I fell in love with the cast, and I promised myself to be a part of as many JWRC endeavors as I can because I just love it, and I love the people so much.
And the other thing that was really cool for me working on the show was I think it was the first time I'd really gotten to work with some of our younger cast members and to be in a show with, you know, particularly with Layla, who's carrying this huge show on her shoulders, much to her credit. Really an amazing job. And so overall, what a beautiful experience to get to be a part of.
Over the course of rehearsing for Secret Garden, I often gave Bracha Mishalovin a ride home. And I got to know her rather well over the course of the rehearsals. But I must tell you, she brought the most unbelievable vodka brownies to the cast party. Bracha, please come back to the JWRC just so you could bring your brownies again.
The morning of Secret Garden, I woke up in excruciating pain and had to go to the hospital. and was in the hospital until about 3:30 that afternoon. My mom kept asking me, "You don't seem to be doing well. Are you sure you're going on stage?" And my response to her was, "You obviously don't know me." And for Secret Garden, it was a good thing that we needed to look like ghosts because I was already there.
When I think about my experience in the Secret Garden, I think about how incredibly special it was. Not only did we get to sing some of the most beautiful music and extraordinary harmonies, I got to play Layla's mom, I got to sing with Raina for the first time and be her sister, and I got to play Margie's wife. What could be better than that? One of the most beautiful things about being in a show is that you develop new friendships and new relationships depending on who you're in your scenes and songs with. I was in most of my scenes with my sister Rose, aka Karen Hollander, and we didn't really know each other at first, but after this show we did, and I'm so glad that we did because now we have a beautiful friendship, and that's all thanks to JWRC.
One of the awesome things about the Secret Garden for me was that I got to play a character that was alive. After my last two shows where I played a character who died and came back as a ghost in Les Miserables and in Into the Woods, this time in a show that was full of ghosts, I got to be one that stayed alive the whole time.
The last time I had directed a show and also performed in a supporting role was Pirates of Penzance back in 2008. And after that, I swore to myself that I would never do it again. It's really hard to direct and act at the same time. But when one of our actresses had to drop out of this show unexpectedly, I decided to take on the role of Mary's father because I just love the show's score so much and I really wanted to sing those gorgeous harmonies. But then I remembered how difficult it was. It's like having a baby. You always forget how hard it was once it's over.
So, you know in the song Come Spirit, Come Charm, where we do those arm movements and chant those words, and then everything's okay again? I'm pretty sure that's a Vodazara, idol worship. But I'm also pretty sure that that might be the cause of Corona, or it could be the cure. Maybe we should reenact the scene and see if we can end the pandemic. Or it might make it worse. Never mind, never mind.